got to move. You got to move, Lord, you got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you got to move. You got to move. You got to move. You got to move, Lord, you got to move. When the Lord gets ready, you got to move. You may be high, you may be low, you may be rich, or you may be poor. When the Lord is ready, you got to move. You got to move.
Woo! Yay! New song. Woo! Happy day after Thanksgiving. I ate well, enjoyed very good company yesterday. Focused quite a bit on being thankful, as per the holiday's instructions. And then today, I want to focus on a part of back to suffering. Hey, yeah, because that's what I was thankful for yesterday. We kind of did the thing where you go around and say what you're thankful for. And that this year or whatever is especially what I'm thankful for, is not looking at suffering like as a results-based thing, like I'm supposed to get this out of it and that's why it's happening. I don't know, because just for me there's an arrogance in there that I don't need to hold on to about, oh, I know what God's doing. And that just gets you in trouble too, because then if you don't get a result out of it, or the result you want out of it, then you can throw away a lot of good stuff, or I can throw away a lot of good stuff, and I have in the past, so I don't want to do that anymore. So anyways, I've been very thankful this year for the winnowing away of me via stress, suffering, lack. Thank you for lack. Woo! Gotta get rid of these futons. But I want to focus on part of that, in that I was reading about, and I hadn't really thought about, that in your suffering, Christ called you not to necessarily offer, he wanted you to offer aid, a certain degree, I think, of empathy, and because we are all in the same position, we all suffer from, maybe different things. We all come up short of the glory of God in various different ways, all of us. So we need those things. We need to serve and not put ourselves above anyone else. And we need to have empathy because we are all in the same position. But interesting thing that I was reading about this morning, that suffering because you're doing the will of God is the great and mighty thing that I should joy in. But that suffering kind of its own accord, or suffering because of stupid decisions, is not necessarily, sure, that may teach you a life lesson or whatever, but it's not necessarily part of the grand plan, that if you are just going out and causing your own suffering, or wallowing in your own suffering, or making suffering your own God, I don't know, that's just something I want to be cautious of, or I feel like I need to be cautious of. And also, Jesus turned away from self-pity and the pity of others. So in a way, us standing stalwart and strong in our strife is kind of where we should be heading, or where I should be heading. And there's this funny thing, you'll recognize the phrase if you bought the last White Stripes record, or just are aware of pop culture. When Jesus, this seems like a very nice thing, and this is another one of those things where Christ was like, no, don't roll this way, because I think often I've done it where other people are suffering, and I go to them and I'm like, oh man, this is such a bummer, this shouldn't be happening to you, or whatever, I can't believe this is happening to you, and don't you agree, or whatever. And you know what, if they're supposed to be going through it, I'm actually not being helpful at all. So I'm trying to learn how to couch my thoughts, because I don't know the future or whatever, and I don't know why they're going through the suffering. It could not be a godly thing. It could be because of some really a number of stupid decisions they've made or something, you know what I mean? But a lot of times it's just like these life things that you have no control over, so then you got to wonder, who knows where it's from. But anyway, one of those things that could be funny, I suppose, if you saw it the right angle, but I think he meant it kind of seriously. Basically, Jesus told all his disciples at one point, he was like, hey, by the way, I'm going to get murdered, and but I'm going to come back, but I'm going to be murdered, and none of you guys are going to be able to help me. And Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, far be it from you, Lord, this shall not happen to you. Basically, hey, if people come for you, man, I'm going to take them out, which seems like a really quite respectable human reaction. Oh, if people come to kill you, I'm going to kill them. I think I would have had that reaction as well. But he turned and said to Peter, get behind me, Satan. You are an offense to me, for you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men. So that, I think, is one of the hardest things about suffering. And since I was being so thankful for it, I'm glad it kind of came back into my zone today, that I have to, I don't know, I just have to be mindful and not arrogant that I know the mind of God, and be wary in my trying to aid others, trying to be of service, which I believe I'm supposed to, of not putting that, couching it in that fashion of, oh man, you shouldn't be going through this. Oh, and I think I've definitely seen in my lifetime a lot of people look to God and to Christ to do that, to like be that deliverer. You're going to deliver me from strife, and I'm going to lead a life of peace. Man, he never said that. Christ never said that for certain. He was quite specific. Man, life for you is going to be hard because you are saying things that really run contrary to human nature. And people are going to be like, F that, F you. They're going to stone you. They're going to rebuke you. You're going to lose friends, the whole thing. He wasn't too much. He's like, no, you'll get peace eventually, and you'll have peace that passes all understanding. People will wonder why you feel so peaceful while they're spitting in your face. But that, yeah, it's not about necessarily delivery and gee, because so often with that, I know I go to that place where I'm definitely in my human thinking, where I'm like, oh, well, this is bad, and you shouldn't want to feel bad, and you shouldn't want to suffer. So I'm getting past that first part, but I got to get to that second part, I think, where, because I can apply that to myself, and that same thing. All right, well, this is your will, then let this keep going on, and teach me what you can from it, or teach whoever you need to teach what you can from it. But when it comes to other people, I think it's a lot easier for me to revert to my former way of thinking, which is that I know best. So I got to just watch my words and still be loving and still serve others and still aid others. But I think I've just got to watch my tongue. So today, I'm going to watch my tongue. Love you guys. Happy day after Thanksgiving.